Welcome to Reclaim Your Life. I'm now Duane, your host and the producer. I'm the author of Alpha Chick and a life recovery coach, but I think of myself more as a spiritual warrior, helping women to live better lives. When we release the past, we can fully embrace the present. All of my guests this season will share their own journeys of self-discovery, how they pushed through their pain and perseverance, and now live as self-loving, empowered women with a purpose. And I'm so honored to introduce you today to Stacey Martino, one of the leading relationship authorities out there, and just a bundle of energy. Stacey and Paul Martino are the founders of loveandpassioncoach.com. They're the creators of Relationship Transformation System, the proven step-by-step relation transformation program helping people all around the world create the unshakable love and unleashed passion that lasts a lifetime. Stacey and Paul invested 13 years and over 6 figures to transform their relationship into the magnificent love affair they enjoy today, and now help their clients to transform their relationships easily and more effectively while having fun. Stacey is trained and certified as a marriage educator and divorce preventionist by Tony Robbins of Robbins and Madanes. Whether speaking, coaching in her programs, Stacey is known for her humor, her high energy, radiant love, and straight talking. Oh, Stacey, I'm so excited to have you today because relationships is just such a huge minefield for women.
I'm thrilled to be here today, Mel. Thank you so much for having me.
You know, we all have stories. We all have a history with relationships. And so This is why this is such an exciting conversation to have. I'd love to open up the dialogue with something that you recently said, and then we can just flow from there into the conversation. You recently were asked a question about why men leave or why people leave in a relationship, and your response was, people leave because their needs are not being met at a high level consistently. They leave when they reach the point that they've given up the hope that they will ever get their needs met at high levels consistently within that relationship. Whoa. So, walk us through this, your own journey, what has inspired you to do this work, because I know you've had your own challenges.
Oh, amen. That is true, Mel. And that is really how Paul and I got here to do this work today, which neither of us could have ever seen coming. 13 years ago, I was in a relationship with Paul. We weren't married then, but we were in a serious relationship, and it was not going well, Mel. We were really good friends. We cared for and loved each other, but the relationship part was not going well. Neither one of us had any tools or skills to save our lives. And it wasn't going well. And to be honest, there was one night, it was really the most painful night of my existence when I look back on it, where Paul came to my house to break up with me, to be very transparent. And he was distraught about it, but really didn't see any other way for this relationship to work. And we were crying and talking, and this went on for a good few hours. And somewhere, somehow, within the sobbing and the tears, I got to this point where I had this glimpse of love for Paul, like this feeling like he is the one, that it's not that he's the wrong person, it's that I've been doing this wrong. And I just had this knowing, this feeling in the middle of sobbing, and I just knew, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not that I picked wrong again. It's that I've been doing this wrong. This is not the best me. I could do better than this. I don't know how, but I know I can do better than this. And I just had this glimpse, and I felt this love for him and this moment that I never felt before, not for Paul or, frankly, anyone else in my life. I didn't know that love could feel like that. And in that moment, I was so broken down, honestly, and crying and in so much pain that I realized that if I could feel that kind of love, like if I could hold on to that for the rest of my life, whether with Paul or with anyone else, like, it would be worth it. It would be worth it to risk whatever pain, whatever I had to go through to be in a relationship with someone, just to feel that kind of love and have the life that could bring. I just knew that in that moment. And so, I mean, maybe not everybody might love that I say this, but honestly, in that moment, Mal, I begged him. I just begged him. I said, I have been playing half at this. I have had one foot in and one foot out because I've been waiting for the other shoe to drop. Honestly, I've been protecting myself the whole time we've been together, waiting for you to leave me and protecting myself so I could turn around and say, fine, I don't care. Honestly, that's where I was in my 20s. I didn't want to be hurt again. I didn't want to be crushed again. So everything for me was about preparing for that moment so I could just be like, that doesn't matter. I wasn't really thinking this was going to last. And I've been playing half that way. I've been protecting myself and not letting you come too close and yet trying to be in relationship with you, and it doesn't work. And I don't know how to do this better, but I promise you I'll find out. Please just give me another chance to be the real me. You have not been with the real me. Just give me a chance to be the real me. I got to figure out who that is. And then if you want to leave the real me, I totally will send you with love. But just give me a chance. I was so desperate to try to be the most authentic self I could be and stop protecting. And in that moment, he saw the real me for the first time, someone who was willing to be vulnerable and risk and sit in the pain instead of running from it. And he said, I don't really see how this is going to be any different, but of course I'll give it another chance. And from there, Mel, I dove in. I listened to every program I could get my hands on. I read every book. I trained with whoever I could find. I listened to as much advice as I could, and I threw myself into this, not just for a relationship, but also to just be the best version of myself, to be the most authentic version of me. And I transformed myself. And it ended up having a massive impact on Paul. Just me doing the work shifted him completely because I was showing up differently. I was being different with him, so he was being different back to me. I was reacting to him differently, so he was reacting differently to me. And after a while, he came to me and said, you know what, this is unbelievable. Like, I can't believe the transformation in you. And he said, okay, what are you listening to? What are you reading? I'm in. Let's do this together. And we did. We poured it in. And we had so much gratitude and appreciation for the relationship that was hanging by a thread that we almost lost, that we never take it for granted. We make it a priority. And so Paul and I, honestly, we just did it for ourselves. We poured ourselves into this. 13 years, we traveled around the world, trained with the greatest behaviorists, relationship experts, intimacy experts. Everything we could do, we poured over 6 figures into our transformation. And today we have like the most magnificent, unbelievable love affair. But our mission is we see so many people who are struggling just like we were. And it's not their fault. There's just who teaches this? Nobody's talking about this. We don't have role models handing this down. So we have made it our mission to dedicate the rest of our professional lives to helping people create the transformation that we did, but without investing 13 years and trying to figure it out on their own and 6 figures and struggling and going through the pain, to make it quicker, easier, more fun, and really transform the world by transforming intimate relationship, and that's our mission.
And you said it. There is nobody out there teaching this. And the biggest struggle that women have are relationships. And you mentioned something that's so common, Stacey, that we want to protect ourselves. We're afraid of getting hurt. So therefore, we don't show up 100%. How do women get over that? I mean, that's part of our conditioning to protect ourselves.
Oh my God, is it? I so believe it, and Mal, I've been doing this work. I've been in personal development for over 18 years now, and one thing I know for sure is that the longer women are in and out of relationships, we get our heart broken, the more protective we become. the more toughened up after the next heartbreak. We're like, well, I'm not going to be that way again. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to care less. I'm going to toughen up. And also, we're phenomenal in the workplace with our businesses, and we get rewarded for leaving those emotions at home. I don't know about you, but in my experience and many of the women I work with, when you enter corporate America, they might as well have a sign on the door that says, please leave your emotions at home when you come here. And so we kind of live in that world where we do kind of have one foot in and one foot out, and we protect. I think that the first step, first of all, is just acknowledging that that's what we do. That is completely natural and normal. It is supposed to happen. However, then you acknowledge, you know what, though? There's some negative ramifications to this, and this is not helping me anymore. Because you think you're protecting yourself from the pain. That's why we do it. But it's what we call a false neuroassociation. Your brain wires you up that if you do this, you'll protect yourself from the pain, but it's not true. It's a lie. Ask any woman who's been hurt, and she will tell you she did not protect herself from the pain. At the most, Mal, you're really trying to protect yourself from the shame. You're trying to protect yourself from yourself and other people thinking, well, you went all in, what'd you expect? Look at you. You were completely and totally shameless about it, and now you got your heart broken. That's what you get. And we might be protecting ourselves from the judgment or the shame, but we never protect ourselves from the hurt. But when you do put up walls and you realize that you're trying to keep people out or keep the pain out, you also keep the highest good out, too. You can't feel the height of joy if you can't feel the depth of pain. They both have to come through the wall that we're putting up. And so part of it, step one, is realizing that we do it. It's completely natural. It's okay. It's not your fault. And the second thing is, if it's not serving you today, there's another way. And, we can show you how, because it's about reclaiming your life, right? Now, why live shut down? If the purpose of living the next 60 years is to protect yourself from pain, what kind of life is that? Pain is a part of life. If you're going to live and you're going to get out there and you're going to put yourself out there and you're going to play big like you were meant to, like you came here to this earth with your purpose to play big, not to play small, you're going to have some pain. Pain is a part of life. Suffering is optional. Suffering is when you feel pain and you feel powerless to change it. That's an illusion, and it's optional. That's your choice. But pain is an actual part of life. It's certainly an actual part of putting your heart in there. There's going to be pain. It's not that it's pain all the time, but there is pain as a normal part of life. And we almost have a widespread, going on in society that if there's pain, run away. We have very low tolerance for discomfort and pain today. But the bigger you play, you fall down sometimes. Success is not never falling down. It's falling down 7 times and getting up 8.
A real issue with women, too, is being authentic, being who they are. Mm-hmm. They try to mold themselves into something that they think the other person wants.
Amen.
You can't play a role for, the rest of your life in a relationship.
That's right.
And when the real you shows up, that was probably better than any imitation you ever created.
Amen.
The real you is so much better, and yet the person that you're dealing with goes, whoa, wait a minute, now who's this person?
That's right.
Why are women so
it's so true.
Of being who they are?
That's right. Yes. And we've been conditioned that way, too, just from the youngest of girls. Women, don't do this, be like this, don't do that. Or if you want to be, friends with girls at school, there's a certain way. And so we all do that. Unfortunately, that stuff runs amok. And we end up feeling like we need to be, keep morphing into whatever people will want to keep connection. Driving force for women is to stay connected to people. It's like a 20-million-year-old instinct, because if you disconnect, you might die. It's a survival instinct to stay connected to people. And so women do adapt. And you hit the nail on the head. it really is the most authentic version of you, that unique brilliance that you have. You're the only you on the planet. There's only one like you. We don't have another one. So honestly, what the world craves more than anything else, even though you're so scared and you don't think it's true, is the uniqueness of you. Because you're the only one we have. So clearly you have something to bring to us, to lift this world up so we can all rise together. We must all live our purpose. We must all be our unique self. We must bring our unique gifts. And what really attracts people in the beginning is differences. And it's your uniqueness, what's different about you. That was the spark that your partner was drawn to. It's the gifts that you have that he doesn't have, that he is connected to and excited about. And we're so quick to get rid of those, throw those under the bus, and say, no, I'm just like you, watch, because we think, we like people that are just like us, which is true. But in intimate relationship, it's the differences that attract us. And over time, a lot of people, the longer they're in love, the more things we have in common. That's just the natural progression, which is wonderful, because the more things in common is a deeper friendship. Friendship is the foundation of love. That's wonderful. But passion comes from differences. And it's your unique, authentic self that is your biggest difference that you bring to that party. And when those differences start to fade, the passion fizzles out. And I've said before, I'll say again, that relationships do not die from a lack of love. Relationships die from a lack of passion. When we live without it, we walk around with a piece of ourselves dead inside, and we know we don't have it. We can escape and distract. There's no shortage of distractions these days. Life moves very fast. But when you know you don't have that passion in your relationship, eventually something will get through to you. You'll see a romantic movie, or you'll see a couple on the street who just craves each other and can't keep their hands off of each other. And you'll feel that pang inside, that longing, that wanting for that passion that you've been missing. And when we give up our most authentic self, we give up our uniqueness, it's part of the dynamic that causes the passion to fizzle. And we walk around dead inside without this passion, which is the life force. Passion is a life force energy. And it comes from being your most unique self, the best version of yourself, certainly, but the most unique and authentic version of yourself.
Stacey, you mentioned something that is really key, and that friendship is the foundation of love. I work with so many women who are in relationships that have all the passion, but they don't have the friendship. And that passion fizzles. They didn't get to know that person well enough as a friend first, and then they wonder how it unravels. So what do women do to prevent that? They jump in. Oh, third date. Oh, head over heels. Madly in love, or sometimes the first date. Who knows? But, and they're just so into the passion. Wait a minute. Back up. Slow down.
Yeah. It takes both sides, because as you just pointed out so beautifully, it's the friendship, that foundation of love, that's going to get you through the first hard time. And you're going to build on that. And if you are lucky enough to build on that, and you are smart enough to jump in with your partner and build on that instead of turning on each other when that first tough time comes, then you have a stronger foundation, so that you can weather the next storm. If you don't have the foundation of what we call an unshakable love, why unshakable? A lot of people have love. A lot of people, in fact, have the opposite of what you described, where they have a great friendship. They're raising kids together. They're living together. They really care about each other, but they have no passion anymore. It's completely fizzled out. But they're good people with good intentions. They have no intention of ever hurting their partner, so they just live together as great friends. They think they're the only ones in the world who are living in a passion-less relationship, when in fact we actually have a passion-less relationship epidemic going on right now. But they have the friendship to get through the tough times. But they lack the passion. And eventually that lack of passion will break down even the friendship that was there. And the opposite is also true. You get into it, it's fiery, there's a lot of differences in the beginning. Differences are what creates passion. There's attraction and chemistry in the beginning. But if you don't have the unshakable love to get through what will always find you, there's always going to be a winter that finds you, a financial crisis, a health crisis, God forbid something with one of your kids, somebody loses a job, an ailing parent. It's a part of life. There's always going to be a winter. If you don't have that foundation of an unshakable love to get through that winter, certainly passion is not going to carry you through. And you're going to, either the heat will turn from passion to fighting, because that's the same, it's two sides of the same coin, passion and fighting. They're both high energy heat from a relationship between two people. Or you just will realize that you just don't have any foundation underneath that passion and start looking for it elsewhere. But it's both. You must have both, and you can't really have one without the other if you want to have a lifetime of this kind of walking through life with this unshakable alignment that you have with one other person that you are 100% committed to, that you live your life with them knowing that they are the most important thing in your world and that every moment of the day when they're walking around, you're the most important thing in their world, hands down above everything else. And you crave them, desire them, can't get enough of them, and you get to bring that kind of energy and passion and excitement to everything that you do in a day. That's unshakable love and unleashed passion, and it requires both if you want to have this kind of extraordinary life.
Today, most women work who are mothers. Yep. It's very common, just about every family is dual income. How
yep.
do women that have very prolific careers, very,
yep.
high-ranking positions, have 2 or 3 small children at home, what you described as having that wonderful friendship, but the passion sizzles because these women have so much going on, so many things pulling at them. How do they restore the passion in that marriage?
Well, there are many, many things, but I would say that one of the key pieces that is off the radar for most people is that there's a lack of polarity today. Polarity is the charge between the masculine and feminine energy. And decades ago, when it was not the world you just described, polarity, which comes from differences, masculine energy and feminine energy, 40 years ago, there was no lack of differences between men and women, right? Men were the only ones really leaving the house. Women were taking care of the kids and with families all day. The roles were very different. The energy was very clear. It wasn't necessarily the most enlightened version of our masculine and feminine, but there was lots of polarity because there were lots of differences. Today, just like you said, well, we both have work. We both have the house. We both have the kids. We both have all the kids' things that they do, million scheduled things every day, community, family, and all of that. And we lead such similar lives that there's a polarity is dimmed. There's not as much difference. And it's not just about roles. It's about that core energy. We both have masculine and feminine inside us, but everyone has a primary core energy. Doesn't really matter whether you're a man or a woman. Inside you have a masculine or a feminine energy. But what's happened is, and we kind of talked about this a little bit already, Mal, that a lot of women are very exercised at their masculine energy, their masculine tool set, their masculine mask, because especially in the workplace and handling all the different things, the masculine energy, the masculine tool set is what really gets things done for us a lot of the time. It's easier. It's what's more accepted at work. That feminine energy, that open, feeling everything, coming from compassion first, that's not really what most people bring to work. And since work has become such a dominant place, a lot of women have moved more into their masculine, and it's also very protective in the masculine because you don't have to feel as much. And on the flip side of that, men have distanced themselves from that like macho man, over-aggressive man of 40 years ago and become more of an enlightened, gentle, wonderful things about that. Enlightenment is a great thing. But a lot of men got the signal years ago that, hey, your intensity is not welcome here. Don't scare women. Don't be overly aggressive around women. Don't be threatening because it's not cool anymore. And men have embraced more of their feminine side. And what happens is when a man is shifted more in his feminine, especially those of our amazing men who are raised primarily by women and men weren't necessarily always present, and a woman shifts more into her masculine to protect herself after her heart has been broken and achieve at work and provide for her family, which is a requirement. We've all been told you must be able to provide. Don't rely on anyone else. You get together and there's a flip-flop. And honestly, this is where Paul and I were when we first learned about this in our relationship 13 years ago. Paul had been suppressing his masculine intensity for many years, and he was living more in his feminine. And my nickname back then was the Ice Princess. And I was super achiever in corporate America. I didn't believe in marriage or ever having children, and we were flip-flopped. Mm-hmm. But what happens is after a while you get exhausted from living in that flip-flop. Women really get exhausted from juggling all the balls in the air all the time and never relying on anyone else. It's exhausting. And men can only wake up and suppress that tiger under their foot for so many days before that tiger is going to come out in a way that doesn't serve and isn't welcome. And it becomes a problem, and the passion fizzles because the polarity is flip-flopped or dimmed. But when you realign, Mal, when you realign with the core energy that's really inside of you, your real self, this is part of authenticity. You can't tell yourself that you're going to be your most authentic self and not be the masculine presence that you really are, or not be the feminine radiance that you really have inside of you. It's not about weakness or strength. It's about being that true energy. It's about coming from masculine presence, which is rooted and immovable. He knows what he wants. He knows where he's going. Nothing's going to get in his way. And he does it in service to his woman, not to his woman. And for a feminine woman, her feminine radiance is about staying open, even when it might be painful, even when there might be fear there, about feeling it all, coming from a place of compassion and being your radiant self in whatever flavor that comes in. Femininity is not about your makeup or your hair or how you dress. It's about being open and being your true self, not tightening. Anytime a woman feels that tightening in her body, that's masculine energy present. That's running the show. It's about that relaxed, open, feminine presence that feels everything and comes from compassion, that flow energy. That's femininity. And I will tell you, as someone who transitioned from the Ice Princess to the sunshine that I am today, is that I'm a lot more effective and a lot more powerful as my feminine self than pretending to be masculine in a world where there are men who are actually masculine. Pretend masculine up against actual born masculine, never going to win. But the masculine, the true masculine now, and because my femininity comes in a way that I love men. Men are magnificent. I love them, and I would never use my powers for evil. I always come never to manipulate, always to serve and help a man be the most authentic, best version of himself possible, and he feels that, and I am open, and I'm always willing to be happy. Men only want to make women happy, and I am a woman who is always willing to be made happy, and he feels that. Nothing stops me. I can't even tell you. It's not malicious or manipulative, but, I mean, I work in an environment with men all the time, and they just can't fall over themselves fast enough to do anything to make me happy and help me have my dreams come true, because we're meant to be that together. He's meant to get things done, and she is meant to be open and be happy and be able to have the vision and the flavor and the ups and downs that she's the color in his black and white world. We're meant for that. But when a woman is in her masculine, pretend masculine, coming against God-given true masculine, never going to win.
Stacey, I could talk about this all day. I just love this.
Me too, Mom.
And I mean, and your energy, it just, I can feel it. You know, the authenticity of the message. And I think what you're sharing with women today is such a powerful lesson for them. You're going to be giving an amazing free gift to the listeners. And there is going to be a link right there for them on the website. They can go right over under your name today and click on that link. But I want you to tell them a little bit about the gift, your website, and how they can reach out to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Val. I'm so excited. Paul and I are so passionate about this, in case you can't tell. And really what it's about for us is that I see good people every day, Mal, come to me. Good people who are trying. They're trying to make their relationship what they want it to be. But what they're doing just isn't working. And I see wonderful, good-hearted, positive intention people get frustrated, exhausted, angry, even resentful. And so Paul and I are so committed that everyone should just take the energy you're already putting into your relationship. I promise you, if you're in a relationship, you're putting energy into it. But if what you're doing isn't working, I just want you to take that energy and just do what works and stop hurting yourself with what doesn't work. So we have our 8-step relationship transformation system. It's our proven system that we came up with after years and years of putting this together and testing this with now thousands of people around the world. And I want to give it to you. I want to give you the 8 steps to transform your relationship no matter where you are in relationship. Look, you could be between relationships and literally just want to transform yourself into the version of you that can attract and keep your forever love. You could be in a loving relationship, but the passion is fizzled, and you really want to be in that place where you're aligned with your masculine or your feminine, and the sparks are flying, and you have that reclaimed. Or you could be heading towards divorce, and you need a last-ditch attempt. We do that all the time. Wherever you are in your relationship, these 8 steps really work. So we want to give you our audio program. It's called How to Transform Your Relationship in 8 Steps. And you can get it by clicking on the link on the page, or you can go to relationshiptransformationsystem.com/free gift and download your audio to your phone, listen on the go, and take that. We'd be so happy to give that to you so you can literally just do what works and stop doing what doesn't. If there's anything that I could convey to you, it's please love yourself as much as I love you, and do this for yourself. Maybe not even for this partner, but at least for yourself, so you can live your best life, really love the way you were designed and know you can love. The only love you fail to feel in this world is the love you fail to give. Give your love. You are meant to be a lover. And if it's for this partner, phenomenal. If it's not, you'll know. Do the 8 steps. Download that audio. Take action for yourself. Nothing impacts your life like your intimate relationship. It impacts your happiness, your self-confidence, your self-worth, every area of your life. So download that audio. Our website, if you want to, there's tons of free content and videos at loveandpassioncoach.com. And if you want to reach out to me, you can email us at support@loveandpassioncoach.com anytime. Let us know how we can best serve you. We are thrilled to help you in any way that we possibly can.
Stacey, you are wonderful. You know what? I think we should call you the Love Queen.
Oh, thank you, Mel. I'll take it.
You're the Love Queen girl. Thank you for taking time to share your brilliance with us. I truly appreciate it. And this has been so inspiring. We have to do this again. Thank you.
Absolutely. I would love that. Thank you, Mel.
Have a wonderful day. Thanks.